Good morning, Tarkov. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? We've got a very interesting topic today. As of I don't know, 8 o'clock Eastern yesterday, there's been a few extra additions to that list of items that can't go up onto the flea market, including all of our new guns. So the G20, not all of them, sorry, the high tier new guns. So you're not going to find the G28, you're not going to find the Scar H up on the flea market. And actually, now that I see that, we might not even see. Actually, the 5.56 Scar might be good, but you can buy the 5.56 Scar from what am I saying? Peacekeeper 2. So maybe that's probably why. But generally speaking, every single high tier item is no longer on the flea market. So yeah, that's a huge change. It's what a lot of the OGs and it's what a lot of people in general have been kind of talking about and kind of looking for, because that was more of like I'm gonna turn the music down just a little bit. That's more of what the economy will look like around launch. Interesting that they want to have it in the game right now, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. So let's get to it. Yeah, guys, so you heard it. Turn down just a little bit. Yeah, you heard it. So the full list, actually, we had the patch notes. There was a much longer list on the patch notes. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because they're not actually telling anybody. You're just going to have to, like, they didn't tweet this stuff as far as I know. They didn't tweet this stuff. It's not up on the forums. As far as I know, it's not up on the forums. They haven't said anything. They've just removed them. So yes, there were the items in the patch notes, but then also, as of yesterday, the Alton, the Fast MT, the Masca, the Cayman, Pilgrims, the KS23, SP6, Gazelle K, Scar H, 762 by 50, the Scar H 762 by 51, the 5.56 MDR, the 762 MDR, the Mutant, the G28, and the RSAS are no longer on the flea market. You cannot buy those on the flea market. Something that we need to keep in mind is what are the traders going to be looking like when we get up to the higher levels. If somebody's level 42 yet, let me know, guys, in chat. Actually, I haven't noticed if anybody is level 42 yet. Is Pesley level 42? Is any of those other guys, Hyperrat, any of them, Smitty, Trey? I don't know what anybody else out there that's like really like trying to grind up to the higher levels, or is anybody 42 yet? Please let me know if you've seen that, so that we can see the max level traders. Otherwise, yeah, that's not a thing anymore. That's just not a thing anymore. We're gonna have to see what you get for the new tasks. What the new tasks gonna unlock for the traders. Pest is 38. So 42. I think all around 38, 40. That's what I was thinking as well. I keep a pretty good track of that stuff. I haven't seen anybody that's even 41 yet. So if you guys know of anybody that's 42 yet, please let me know. I'm gonna Vibin is 42. Okay, I know the name, but I don't watch them. Vibin. Okay, I'll check him out today. Him or her. I don't know. Hyperrat is like 37. Yeah, the people that I usually go to are not 42 yet. Why do you and One Peg look alike? I don't think I really look like One Peg. We live in a similar area. So I thought Trey was 40. So it's actually 42. 42 should be unless I'm getting something wrong. Level 42 should be Peacekeeper. Should be Peacekeeper 4. I could be wrong there. I thought it was 42. I know it's been 40 in the past, but I thought they moved it. To 42. Either way, that's all max level traders. Or is it Peacekeeper or is it Mechanic? Maybe I'm thinking of Mechanic. It might be Mechanic. I've had a long morning already. So whatever, level 42 should be max level traders, I think. It should be all of the traders level. It's either 40 or 42. Either way, the flea market was our access. I thought 42 was Ragman. Just what I mean, like 40. I'm pretty sure 42 is like all of the traders is what I'm trying to say. Maybe I think I misspoke with Peacekeeper. You got a point there. But yeah, so I think level 42 should be all the traders. Hell, I didn't even get to like level. I think I was like level 34 last patch. And that's just what last patch was. Like I didn't feel a need to play any more than I absolutely had to, and I actually ended up playing a little bit more than I absolutely had to. because I'm one of the people that can get burnt out. Even if I love it, I'm still gonna be able to, like, not be able to, but I still will get burnt out of stuff, and I'm terrified of getting burnt out of Tarkov. So I play as little as I possibly can. Like right now I'm like level 12. Today I'm gonna grind to get to the flea market now with all this stuff, because I actually want to see what they're gonna do with it and what's going on with it. But I'm like level 12, almost 13 or whatever right now. The first 2 days I was just offline fucking around with Lighthouse and the Raiders, rogues and stuff like that. So that's expect the very same thing as well when Streets launches next year. Just any big wipe, any big patch or anything like that. Not gameplay. It's just going to be me figuring out whatever there is to figure out in terms of maps and new enemies and stuff like that. That's kind of my thing. Will the ammo at high-level traders be enough to keep people supplied to run good ammo, or will it be really hard to consistently run decent ammo? Even though I don't actually know, I'm going to go ahead and say that BSG are turning things around to make it really hard to consistently run the best ammo. Decent ammo, I think we're going to have a somewhat easy time to do, but depends on your definition of decent. But when it comes to the best ammo, absolutely there's going to be a lot of roadblocks. And I think what they're trying to do, we're gonna have a donation come here in a second, and a question. I don't know. Hopefully that shows up. Here we go.
At Noise Guy Tarkov, did they just add slowing turning speed when running? Didn't notice it that bad at the start of Wipe.
I didn't get to play today. I ended early yesterday in terms of just like playing the game and stuff like that involved with the game, because I went to go see the new Spider-Man movie. But today I'll jump in. I haven't jumped in yet today. I'll see what's going on with that, because I'm trying to get to 15. I haven't seen anything. So I haven't seen anything in terms of like changes or anybody reporting anything. So we'll see. I don't think they did, but we'll see. What was I talking about before? I forget what I was talking about before. Right, so the ammo. So I think what they're really going to do is they're going to try and bring back. Also, let me know if the I'm not going to say anything. I just said I'm not going to say anything. There's no spoilers. That guy's lying. Actually, if you guys do say anything, I'm going to fucking ban you. That's actually a lie, so I'm just going to remove that one. I'm just going to remove that. You guys don't do that shit. Anyway, opinion on 7 and 40, I don't think I've shot it yet. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, right. So I think the kind of the mindset that they want to bring into the game is that sort of DayZ sort of feeling. When somebody is running a big gun, you should, no matter who you are, no matter what level you are, if somebody is running like a significant, like a really good gun, no matter what level you are, no matter how much you've played the game or whatever, you should get that feeling in your head, like, oh fuck, it's an RSAS, or oh fuck, it's a like that's that really good gun in the game, and I just found one. Hell yeah! Like, they want that to be a thing, so that's what they're trying to do with the flea market changes. Because the flea market, honestly, like when you're level 15, depending on like what your cash situation is in game, you're really not going to have a problem. You literally click and you're going to have that. Maybe it's a bit, maybe the actual value of the money that you just spent, like the amount of rubles or whatever you had to trade for that on the flea market, is different for everyone, of course. But still, it's literally one click. If you got it, you got it. It's one click and you have that. And they removed that. They removed that from the game. So that's obviously going to change things a lot. One thing that I am noticing very clearly is there are very few people running around with like slicks, and they're like actually valuing like their Altons and their slicks and stuff this patch. You did not see that last patch, and you did not see that the patch before. It was like hours after the wipe went up. You're seeing everybody with killa armors, level 6 armor, Altons, the killa helmet, stuff like that, and they were running it constantly. I'm seeing a lot of big names out there with level 4 armor and not even a visor. A lot of them are starting to wear visors now. There are a lot of visors that are out into the pool right now. There's a lot going around with the visors, right? You know, as a day 5 kind of a thing. But at least it lasted a bit longer, and it should last a bit longer into the wipe. The one thing that I know is going to start happening is there is going to be quite a leap between people that obviously like either played this game for a living, or they play this game like they play this game for a living, where they play constantly. There's what's going to be interesting is like what pops up with that, but you can't necessarily. Oh, also before I forget, Mr. Pencil, thanks for the 5. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't answer your question. I forgot to say specifically. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate the appreciate it. I'll check it out today. Like I said, I didn't hear anything. But anyway, right. So not necessarily, you can't necessarily balance the game to those minority kind of players. You can't really balance it for the worst of the worst, and you can't balance it for the best of the best. You have to balance it for, well, technically, depending on what the vision that you have as the developer of it, you could choose to do one or the other. But generally speaking, I think what they would be balancing for is like if the best of the best was like a 99th percentile and the worst of the worst was like a 1%. Even though this isn't necessarily how this stuff works, but you know, in terms of a rating, if the best of the best was like a 99 and the worst of the worst was like a 1, you would want to go for like the 70s. You want to go like for like the 75s, kind of like a balance kind of area, to make it difficult. If that's like kind of what you want to go for, and then there's still people that can get a sense of accomplishment for doing something cool in the game because it's difficult. And then in terms of Tarkov, they're probably balancing around like the 80s area, to be honest. They're probably around that area. And now with this Flea stuff, we're going to have to see. Now, there's not necessarily a ton of those enemies, like the crazy enemies that have those, like, the crazy face shields. And, of course, they have the extra health. And, of course, they move around. And, of course, their accuracy and their ability to get shots on target very quickly is inhuman for some of them, which does make it really difficult. But it's interesting to see, or it's going to be interesting to see what effect this new flea market has on that, because over the years, that balancing of those NPCs and those bosses and those just enemies in general, to have those kind of inhuman capabilities and they're just super hard difficulty, was because eventually someone's going to be shooting them down with M61 every raid and stuff like that. But that's not going to happen necessarily this time around. So there's going to be a new wave of balancing that comes around that we just kind of need to stick with. I'm confident that they've already nerfed rogues. I'm very confident they've already nerfed rogues. And those of you guys that have seen a couple of my tweets, especially on day 1 or day 2, would have known that or would have seen that. I even put it in the video for my Everything Rogues video. Those guys were absolutely inhuman. They were completely ruthless. They were on the heavy machine guns and hitting headshots with a heavy machine gun first shot every shot. Or every time. If they wanted to kill you, you were dead. No questions asked. Like, they could see you at all times, period. Like, it was nutty. And now I am starting to see those tracers. I'm starting to see those tracers go by. I'm starting to hear the whizzing. I'm starting to hear like them hitting the rocks around me and stuff like that. So I do think they nerfed them. But still, it's pretty tough. So we'll see. There's going to be a new round of balancing for pretty much everything based off of the economy. With how scavs can simply walk in the rogue camp, kill them, or loot and extract so easily, will make the Flea situation interesting. I would be careful with what you say with easily, because I still wouldn't use easy. I know it can be easy sometimes, but those times are because somebody's already done a bunch of the work. So some PMCs have already come by. Maybe they've taken out a gun or two, which is huge because there's only 7 to 9 of them at any given moment. So that's a big deal. And then once they're on the ground, that's where the grenades can come in, and that's where numbers can come in and stuff like that. So especially when you're talking about scavs, I wouldn't necessarily use easy. I could say that sometimes it's easy and sometimes you get lucky. In fact, maybe there's a bunch of times that you can have it easy or have it lucky, where they're already dead and maybe some people have left them, or maybe they got third-partied, or maybe the very last rogue killed him or her, or whoever was shooting up the rogues and trying to farm them, and then you just needed to kill one, and then you have the, like, a lot of that stuff can happen, sure, but we still need to be realistic. And is that going to happen more often than not? Is the question there when it comes into making the Flea interesting. Do you think it would be good to have even less things on the Flea because you can still get meta guns and Tagilla armor? I'm surprised that I'm surprised that the Tagilla armor is on there. Meta guns? What meta guns? They're all gone. As of last night, they're all gone. So specifically tell me what meta guns you're talking about. Maybe the new meta, maybe the new Flea meta. What about the flea market bug? My reputation just went from 0.25 to 0 on Prapper and Skier. Will they fix it? I had no idea that was a thing. So I really hope you send in a bug report, and I'll look around for that. Flea market rep bug. Now, did you take... Now, it might not be a bug. So, did you take something off the Flea? Like, that's why I say send in a bug report for stuff like that. Like, I don't have time for, like, your life story of what happened for you to get that. it might not be a bug. Maybe they made it like brutal for you to remove stuff off the Flea because they don't want you removing stuff off the Flea. They want you to know what you want to post up there and not fuck with it. I don't know. Do AI scavs have inertia? Technically, depends on the scav, depends on the enemy that you're fighting. Technically, some of them do not, but it's like a difficulty scaling thing. And I get it. I get where you're coming from, and I get there's a lot of people out there that are gonna be like, well, what the fuck? But there's some standards that you need to change for AI so that it's actually difficult for some of them, and they're gonna mess with it. So yeah. What happened last night with the Flea? All right, how many? So just to say it again, there were some over the past 48 hours, and then obviously with this patch itself, there were a lot of significant changes with the flea market. You can no longer find the Scar H, the 556 MDR, the 762 MDR, the Mutant, the G28, the RSAS, Gazelle K Armor, SP6 Ammo, the KS23, Pilgrims, the Cayman, the Masca, the Fast MT, or the Alton on the flea market. All of those are off of the flea market at the moment. So yeah. Wait, did they change even more on the flea market stuff? Yep, they did. That's just what I just listed there. And I'll say it again in case anyone missed that or wasn't paying attention. The Scar H, the 556 MDR, the 762 MDR, the Mutant, the G28, the RSAS, the Gazelle K, SP6, KS23, Pilgrims, Cayman, Masca, Fast MT, and the Alton, all no longer on the flea market. All of those are removed. Wondering why the Tequila armor is still up there, and then I think the Killa armor is still up there too. Unless someone's DMing me and telling me. Nope, they're just talking. I think the Killa armor is still up there too. So it's interesting. Very interesting changes that's going to change a lot. So today I'm going to get to level 15. I'm like level 12 right now. We've already explained, like, I'm an information guy. Also, I'm somebody that gets burnt out on games. And I'm terrified of getting burnt out on Escape from Tarkov. So I really try to hone in and play as little as I possibly can, especially around this patch, because in a couple months we are going to be seeing that Lighthouse Trader and the Lighthouse bosses and stuff, so I know I'm gonna need to play a whole lot later in the patch. So I just gotta, kind of pace myself a bit and take it easy with exactly how much I'm going to be end up playing the game. And I do that on purpose. So there's no real conversation we have. I do that on purpose. I'm an information guy. I get the information. I don't really need to play the game to do it. 556 MDR is kind of dumb. The rest makes sense. Yeah, 556 MDR is a little weird. I'll give you that. I wouldn't say it's dumb. There's probably something that they have in mind with that. Now, actually, the Ergo is insane stock with that. So it is a very good gun, like stock, is what the MDRs in general can get. Because there's like really not much you can do to it. You slap a suppressor on it, you put a good grip on it, and you're done. Shouldn't have been the HK416 instead of the 556 MDR. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with some of those choices. It's really weird. The Scar H is turning out to be one of the best guns in the game, by the way. So the Scar H did make sense as opposed to the 556. The Scar L is very weird. For something that shoots 556, the recoil is very weird with that. I don't understand it personally. But the Scar H, where it has the 762, is actually really good. It's actually very good. The Scar 556 is in the fleet. Yeah, they didn't remove the 556. The Scar H is removed. The 556 they did not. Also, when they said 556, the MDR, we're talking about the MDR. The 556 MDR was removed. Unless they've already brought the MDR back. KS23 got banned from the fleet. Yes, it did. All right. So since there's people that are repeating, this is what has been removed from the flea market in the past about 48 hours. We got the Scar H, which is the 762, the 556 MDR, the 762 MDR, the Mutant, the G28, the RSAS, Gazelle K Armor, SP6, the KS23, Pilgrims, the Cayman, the Masca, the Fast MT, and the Alton, no longer on the flea. On top of everything else that they've already been removing from the flea market since the patch. So that's all the ammo, that's all the armor, and all that stuff. So Tequila armor is still up there, Killa armor is still up there. Maybe it's because they're boss items. I don't know. Good morning. Morning for everyone saying morning. Can you read the complete list of removed? That's it, other than what's on the patch notes. I didn't have the patch notes up in front of me. Let me grab those. But everyone should know the other stuff because it was on the patch notes. But I'll go through it again. All right, so Jesus Christ, this is a fucking huge list, and this is okay. Listen, the full list is what is basically meta. It's the meta ammo, it's the meta magazines, it's the meta armor, it's thermals, it's the labs key card, it's meta guns, a couple meta attachments, a couple meta. We even got some backpacks that are taken off. If you saw a big name streamer running this item a lot last wipe, it is no longer on the flea market. I can guarantee that. If think of any piece of equipment or item that any big name streamer or any W keyer, any labs enjoyer out there was running constantly last wipe, you can no longer find it on the flea market. That's a pretty solid explanation, actually. After this, you're gonna have this list burned into your memory. Yeah, I'm not gonna read the full list, guys, because it's massive. It's huge. It's every meta, every high tier. This is why I made this title. This isn't like a clickbait title. This is no shit what's happening. So no more high tier anything on the flea. Ammo, armor, guns, helmets, attachments, thermals, backpacks, even rigs, stuff like that. It's Landmark and it's everybody. Any W keyer, any labs enjoyer, all the meta ammo, all the meta. The P90 I actually think is still on there. The P90 is still on there, but I don't think the ammo. Let me see if they took the ammo off. What's the P90 is like 4. What's the caliber for P90? Help me out, guys. Isn't it 4.7 or something? It's not 5.7, is it? P90 is not 5. Is the P90 5.7 or is it something else? What's the caliber for P90? P90 should still be on there. No, but what is the actual? I guess I'll find it. Let me see if I can find it. It is 5.7. Okay, so yeah, so 5. Okay, so yeah, 190 is gone and SB 193 is gone. So no more 190 on the flea and no more 193 on the flea. I thought the P90 was like. I thought the P90 was like 4 something. What am I thinking of? Why am I thinking of like a 4 something? I'm not a massive gun guy. I know guns, but what am I thinking of? That's hurting my brain. What was that other caliber? I'm blanking on what the other caliber was. Did they remove more yet? MP7, right. So MP7 ammo, actually. Yeah. So MP7 is 4.6. Which they removed that too. So yeah, so AP SX and Subsonic SX are gone for 4.6. That's the other one that I was thinking of. So the MP7's 4.6 by 30 AP and 4.6 by 30 Subsonic are also off, but that was at the beginning of the patch.
What do you think what will happen to the economy now people can't flea card? And what about the quest simple?
Pencil, thank you again for the 5. By the way, what do you think will happen to the economy now that people? People can't flee the card. Flea card? You mean like the labs key card specifically? I have an answer for the flea market in general. About the quest item, whatever quest that you're talking about is generally not affected because they would need to be found in raid. So, Pencil in chat at me at Nice Guy Tarkov Pencil if you mistyped that or something, if you misworded that. Otherwise, I am very confident what they're trying to do with the economy and just the direction of the game is if it is a very, very good item in the game, no matter what it is, if it's a helmet, if it's a vest, if it's an armor, if it's an armored vest, if it's just a really good rig, if it's a good weapon, good ammunition.
How do you handle the pressure? Fucking juice time.
That didn't pop up in chat. So, oh, there it is. Cobears, thank you very much for becoming a member. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. What the fuck was I just talking about? Oh, right. So the economy. All right. So I think what they're trying to do, which is actually kind of obvious, and I don't, go as far as I know what they're trying to do based off of the changes that they've made, is if you find any kind of high ticket, high tier piece of equipment, whether it be a gun, an ammunition, magazine, vest, helmet, anything like that, there's a sense of, wow, I found this item. Like, damn, like, this is great. I need to get out of here, or I can't wait to use this. And that was not a thing. That was not a thing with the flea market. And that's why a lot of the OG Tarkov players, and even me, I've made a video talking about the flea market before, where I didn't say remove the flea market, but this is literally what I was talking about too, because it's just a cool thing to have in the economy. It's just the flea market removed all of that. Like, you just didn't get that. You clicked one thing. As long as you had a good scav raid that day, you click one button and you have that item that is super cool and super, like, interesting. And now it completely removed that sense of just like, wow, I found that gun, I found that Reap IR, I found that armor piece, that helmet, and that stuff. Now I'm gonna be able to play well with it and stuff like. It completely removed it from the game, and now it's back. Now, depending on how easily that stuff is defined, how the new trader is going to affect this stuff, is going to play into that big time. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Also, just in general, the fights should be a little bit like the generally speaking, the early wipe fights seemed more fun for most of the community because they were more even. That was the big thing, and that's actually why a lot of people race at the beginning of patches, because it's a snowball effect, right? So the sooner that you get really good stuff, the sooner you can start to sandbag and completely blow everyone else out of the water, because they just either can't pen your gear, or you have such an easy time penetrating their gear, giggity, with the like level 3 armor and stuff like that, and sometimes level 4 depending on how fast people go. So that's why the big race was on every single wipe, because the sooner that you can get to the best items, the sooner that you can start to curb stomp absolutely everybody that you run into. So that's the big thing, and they're removing a bunch of that from the flea market. So now, is that even going to be a thing anymore, is the question. Sure, with the higher level traders, you're going to have access to some better stuff. That's why I was asking if we've seen any level 42s or not. Vibin apparently is level 42. I've heard the name, but I've never watched them, so I'm going to go check them out later. And then wait till we start seeing max level traders, because they have changed those up, and then also loot pools. So we have to see what's going on with how easily are we going to be able to, how easily or how difficult.
Fucking juice time.
Thank you very much, Pencil, for the membership as well. Thank you guys for the support. Real nice guy supporter. Is that like the $10 one? It's been a while since. Just thank you for that. You've done a bunch today, Pencil. You're good. Thank you very much, man. Yeah. So just generally speaking, the economy is what's going to be a question here for how easy or how difficult is it going to be to find those items. We know that we can get hexes off of raiders. We know that we can get those level 4, those really good level 5s off of rogues now. We know we can get good armor. We know we can get good ammo off of farming stuff in game. Those things are those are still out there. It's not like we have no access to this stuff. Also, there's still the barter through the traders, and just the max level traders are going to make a big difference in general too. Something else to keep in mind is these rogues aren't the last significant enemies that we're going to be fighting. We're going to get next up, we got this trader who, of course, the trader itself is going to have some interesting stuff. Maybe he has some super high ticket stuff. If there was ever a trader in the game to have like crazy stuff, it's going to be the dude that the only access that you have to that person is that one tiny ass little road going out to an island that has the height over that road and has snipers covering him and stuff like that. So what this trader has is going to be significant, especially with all these fleet changes. I'd be surprised if it isn't, to be honest with you. Also with streets, we're going to be getting like the UN, the GRU, the new boss, lots of stuff going on with streets too. And that's supposed to be this year. That's supposed to be, in the next, next 8 to 10 months, we should be on our first iteration of streets. And that's me saying that. I don't work for BSG. I don't actually specifically see like their sprint plans or anything like that, or their roadmap, because they don't have one publicly. But generally speaking, based off of how closely I've been following their progress and how close I've been following the game and seeing what they've shown with streets so far, that's why I've been saying next wipe we're going to have is most likely going to be streets, and it's most likely going to be around Q3, if not sooner, next year. But we'll see. As far as I'm concerned, from what I've seen, I think what they're waiting on for the first iteration of streets is stuff balanced around how the AI are going to interact with the map and loot spawning. So stuff involved with the BTR, stuff involved with the boss, stuff involved with the GRU and scavs and how they interact with the map, spawning, stuff like that. But generally speaking, the environment art, I think is, speaking for myself again, I don't work for BSG, but from what I can tell, what I've heard, it seems like the map itself is done, but what they need to do is like spawn all the loot and do all that extra shit. Which is why I'm confidently saying next wipe is going to be streets, and it'll be, Q3, if not sooner, next year. Do you think the AI bear group will be coming this patch? No, you mean the GRU? No, I think they're coming with streets. They're going to be around on streets. The GRU are going to be streets if that's what you're talking about. Can't wait for the in-raid trader to come and some run naked to him and come out kitted. I wouldn't necessarily say that's going to be a thing because you need to bring something with you. We don't know exactly what it is yet, DJ. You're going to need something in order to get you onto that island in order to meet with the trader without getting shot. And if you don't have that item, you're going to need to take out the bosses so that you don't get shot, and you can't do that naked, so I don't think that's going to be a thing. Can you find gas analyzers and filing cabinets? Yes, you can. You find them more often as loose loot, though, and you need to look on Customs, Factory, Woods, Reserve, Interchange. Right now, those are where they're spawning. I found my first one on Customs in the green room. One of the newer rooms that are up above. I'm blanking on the name of the building. It's with the green screen. It's up above the garage, near the bunker exits. Over on the what would that be? That would be the western part of the map there. That's where I found mine, at least. People are finding a lot. I actually saw, I don't know how to pronounce her name. I can never know how to pronounce it, but it's Gingerlins or Gingerline, something like that. Pretty popular streamer over there on Twitch. She posted a picture up on Twitter yesterday of a scav run she did, and she had 4 gas analyzers and a bunch of Tetrises and stuff on her. I don't know what's going on with that. Actually, that brings me into another one around, since we're talking economy today. I feel like the spawn system is a bit wonky right now because the high tier items, like for me, it's syringes. Like I'm constantly looking. I have not found a syringe, period, unless it's in a stack of 3, and then I end up dying with it. It's always on my scav too. I can never find a syringe when I'm on my fucking PMC. It's always on a scav. But when I do find it, there's literally 3 of them in that one little area. So I feel like there's something going on a bit with the loot where the high ticket items, they're rare, but it's like the rarity is like messed around a little bit, involving with like also how much it spawns, and where it spawns. Like you know what I'm trying to say? Because it's those very rare items, at least for me, at least from what I found, those very rare items, you find a bunch of them at once in one small location. Period. Like that's it. Like or like a general area of one location. Like it's weird. I feel like there's something going on there, but I have no specific stats around that or anything like that. I need to get 1 flash drive still. Yeah, that was always a sticky one. So I got mine in a safe. So check out safes. Also, I think generally speaking, safes are pretty good for flash drives. I think I got my last 2 flash drives from the last 2 patches on safes. So I would run like dorms and stuff and check those safes out on customs. And then there's also a bed in 114, whichever one is when you're going down the hall. It's on the left. There's got the bed and the safe in there, and then also the windows looking out at 3-story. I think that's 114. Oh no, and 2-story dorms. It's either all in the raid and a bunch or not. That's what I mean. Yeah, it's either you find nothing or you find a bunch of it. Like it's weird. Where can I get flash drives? I've opened over 100 filing cabinets and haven't found any. That's because I don't think they spawn in filing cabinets, to be honest. It's safes. You want to check safes. Check out safes for sure. And PCs. You can find them in the front of PCs. If you're looking for GPUs, you can find them in the front of PCs. Make sure you look for them. And then also safes, like I was just saying. I have so many syringes this way. No shit, I can't find them. And when I do, it's on my scav. And when I find them, it's like 4 of them. Cluster spawn. That's what I mean. That's what it's weird that you do that happens. I mean, who if they spawn in groups of 4, it's like, you know what? I'll leave 1 for the next person. I'll take 3. No, you're gonna pick up all of them and leave, and then whoever ends up killing you because they're watching, they just happen to be. I actually had the most unlucky death the other day because I found those 3 syringes on my scav, and I was so fucking careful. I ratted the shit out of me trying to get out of that raid, and just out of nowhere, making no sound whatsoever, this dude comes sprinting out, like just out of I am blanking on the name of the medical store. Oh my god, I'm so bad with fucking names. Mantis. He came sprinting out of Mantis, and I had no idea. I was being so fucking careful, and just right at that time, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna sprint down the fucking escalator. I know I was just said I was being careful, but based off of like the noise that I was hearing and the gunshots and stuff like that, and the time of the raid that it was, I felt confident, very confident, that I could just run down these escalators and then go in past all the rubble, not the rubble, but the boxes and stuff, and then into the front of the Goshen, and then down those escalators into the garage, and then around and out from there. And that would be like my safest bet, just based off of shots and stuff. And then literally as I'm middle of the escalator, some dude just comes running out, like full kitted bear comes running out of Mantis. And I'm just like, fuck. We got into a little bit of a fight, but I only had a fucking why am I so bad with names? Holy crap. The semi-auto fucking M4. I'm having a rough morning with names and shit. I only had one of the semi-auto, the civilian semi-auto M4s that I know a million people are gonna tell me what the name is, and I'm gonna feel like an idiot. But with the 10-round mag, so there's no shot I had with that guy. Adar, thank you, Adar. So yeah, so I got killed there. Anyway, have found 3 flashlights in duffel bags so far, but no syringes. Interesting that they're in duffel bags, actually. I haven't found them in duffel bags. Can't find any TP200s myself. Is that TNT? Is the TP200 the TNT? If it is, go. I can actually show you because I have a map up right here. You are finding... I am finding a lot of TNT and thermite in this building right here, if you guys are looking for that. Also, just mechanical gear in general is also really good over here. We go over here. It's this building right here. So this is Lighthouse we got here. And then we got the water treatment plant, and then this is the armor train exit right here. And then this is the building right here next to it. It's this building, and then also these around here. I'm finding a lot of thermite. There's like a lot of shelves in here, and there's just a lot of stuff around the edges. And then this little area over here, I'm finding a whole bunch. Pretty confident that you'll find either TNT or thermite in this building right here on Lighthouse. That's where you want to check that out. Oh, that's where you want to check that out. For your termite and your TNT there, bud. Did they fix? Yes, chemical part 4 is fixed. Tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell your mailman. Chemical part 4 is fixed. You can turn in chemical part 4 and you'll be fine. That map, as far as I know, isn't out yet. Now the actual, like, the landscape is, but in terms of like loot and stuff, a couple guys on my Discord are working on that. I don't think they've finished it yet because I think they're still finding a bunch of stuff and still working on some stuff. But also One Peg figured out all the keys, so we're gonna add the stuff about the keys as well. Is it pinned? I think I might have it pinned in Tarkov chat on the Discord. All right, so I don't know where that map is. I'm pretty sure you can find the map itself somewhere. But if you go into our Discord and you go to Tarkov chat, there's a very good one as well pinned in the Tarkov chat. There's a very good one pinned in the Tarkov chat. Sylvans, are you in chat? Is that level 4? That is level 4 Peacekeeper. All right, Sylvans just got level 4 Peacekeeper. Why wouldn't you examine everything? Examine everything first. Examine everything if you're listening, Sylvans. What are you doing? Why would you only examine some of the stuff? Is it the rogues killing the frames server side on Lighthouse? No, I mean, it could be. There's a bunch of them, and they're pretty active. But thank you. They're pretty active. But honestly, in terms of frames and in terms of any kind of graphical problems on Lighthouse, I think it's the rocks. I think they're having issues with the rocks on Lighthouse because they have those weird textures and there's a shit ton of them. So if I had to guess, and from my experience, I've actually been on projects where there's been problems like that before with the geometry of shit like that. I think if I had to put money on it, or you know, not as much as a clown suit, but if I had to put money on it, I would say something's going on with the rocks. All right, let's check this out. So here's level 4 Peacekeeper. Thanks to Sylvans on the Discord. Or sorry, Jaeger. Level 4 Jaeger. Level 4 Jaeger. It looked like Peacekeeper with this shit. Goddamn, Jaeger. Alright. Goddamn, Jaeger. Yeah, bunch of cool optics. Right off the bat, no barter, just buy. The the Flea. NVG's T7s that looks like, what is that? That's 17 million for T7s. And then straight up buy the G28. You could buy one every couple hours or whenever the reset is. Straight up just buy the G28 with the optic, with the suppressor, all that stuff. So yeah, once we get up, also he's level 33, so we could have known that. Okay. So we're looking for Peacekeeper now, so we'll see what happens with that. We're looking for Peacekeeper. We want to see what max level Peacekeeper is. To be honest with you, when I saw that G28, I thought it was Peacekeeper. Ratchets and the new pipe grip wrench can spawn in the back of Goshen. Yeah, I have found a few of those. I got lucky with mine. I've been doing a bunch of the scav exits because of VoIP. And, you know the name Nice Guy, so I tend to not shoot people on sight. It's kind of funny, some of the interactions I've got in where I'm looking at someone, like I'm walking up to somebody, and I actually get pretty close. And it's kind of funny how close I get before they see me, and then they start to shoot on sight. Which is, I just think it's funny because it's like, I'm obviously not trying to kill you because of how close I just got to you. But I literally haven't lost a fight like that yet. I would see somebody, I would see they're a USEC, or even if I'm a scav, I would see they're a PMC, and I would just kind of like walk up to them or just be like, just obviously not a threat, and then it's funny when they notice that I'm there and then they start to shoot, but I still fuck them up. It's just, I don't know, it's just funny. I just think it's funny how many times that happens. Ratchets and the new, yeah, we got that. Annoying thing about the high tier flea market block, you can't make presets for guns you can't buy anymore. Oh, that should be a bug. That doesn't make any sense. That should be a bug. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So I would think that would be a bug. Report that, Leon. Report that. 1 out of 5 raids, I was getting flash drives up in Tarkov director's office. Interesting. All PMCs had them in the front. That is absolutely a bug, or it's one of the things that we were talking about a second ago where that rarity stuff keeps popping up. Like the rare items, if they do spawn, there's like a lot of them in a very small area. That sounds completely out of the ordinary to have all those PCs up there have that. Again, another example of why I think there might be something going on with the rare items and just loot in general. Nowhere to find the medical tools. Found one outside of Ultramed, but they seem very rare. I would assume them to be. I would assume they would be very rare because you need those to make surgery kits, the good surge kits, serve kits. I mean, so yeah. But the director's office over on customs does make sense for like some high tier items. So I would definitely go check those out, especially if they're bugged and there's a bunch of them spawning. Try and go and take advantage of it. You have Tarkov stream? Not the plan right now. I did want to touch on that a little bit because people brought it up when I said there wouldn't be a stream yesterday. I'll be honest and say that I just generally speaking, how should I word this? I don't know, fuck it. Just mentally speaking, I have trouble when a lot of people watch me play the game. Because I'm not like I can play the game very well, so I think what happens is when I do really well and I have those really good raids, because I'm generally a competitive, I'm a competitive first-person shooter player, like I'm very good at this stuff, but I don't like having that be my content and be the thing that people want to look forward to, because I used to do competitive stuff and I used to be on teams for like Call of Duty this is way back in like 2008 and 2010 up to like 2012. And I know in order to be a skill guy, like in order to be like a Landmark or a Smitty Stone or a Trey or a Toothy or literally anybody, or, now I got to go and name everybody. Like, everybody that like their brand, like their thing is skill. You have to play a fuck ton. Like you have to constantly play the game and you have to constantly be practicing. You constantly have to be on the map and constantly playing stuff like that. And I didn't like that, and I didn't want that to be my content. So that's why I have trouble live streaming that stuff, because I don't want people to follow me for that, because I don't want to constantly have to do it. So information is my thing, and if I end up playing the game, I don't want to take it too seriously. I'll play the game. I will get some good kills. I will have some very good plays and stuff like that, but I don't want that to be the thing that people know me for, because it really strains you, and it's really like kind of annoying that you have to play that much. And I'm a person that gets burnt out of things, so that's not going to be a thing for me. One Pig's video was saying that in some of the key spots, it's either empty or completely stacked. Yeah, there's something going on. I'm willing to bet money there's something going on with loot. So that's why you don't see me stream gameplay. That's why you'll see me stream stuff where I'm talking to you guys. I'm hanging out. I'm trying to get information out to you guys. That is my thing. If you want gameplay, I'm sure there's plenty of people live on Twitch and even on YouTube right now that you're going to go get gameplay and entertainment and stuff like that. Like Tarkov is supposed to be a competitive game or something. So people, generally speaking, if there's PvP involved, there's going to be people that take it competitively. There's going to be people that if there is that's literally competition. You've bested somebody. That is what PvP is. You have, whether it's Tetris, if you're playing head-to-head Tetris, or if it's Worms or whatever the thing is. What's that thing? Slither IO or whatever, all the way up to, the Call of Duties, the CSGOs, the Overwatches, the League of Legends, all that stuff. It's literally, if there is PvP involved, that is competitive, and there's somebody that feels good about being that person that has bested somebody else at that thing. So that's in Tarkov. You're going to get that. Has the inertia change helped you play better or worse? I've been more confident to push and fight people knowing no AD spam. I've been doing very well with my fights. Now that you say that, actually, I have been doing very well. I might need to look into that a bit more. The only fights that I really have come away from, like, fuck, I should have won that, was because I was on a scav and it was with a gun that I didn't really like. What's funny is I've been doing really well with just like a stock MP5, and then what I'm doing is as well is I'm trying to find as many AK-74s as I can find, and I'll put the handguard on there where you can put the grip and the flashlight, and I'm just running that, like pure just that, and I'm doing really well actually on my PMC, so you might be onto something there. With inertia, actually, I might be playing a lot better. I'll have to think about that. I'll take a note about that. I have noticed that there is a right to complain a little bit about how active some of the raids have been. Because I watch a lot of streams when I'm working on this stuff, and I have seen generally less fights and stuff. So I think it is kind of having a weird effect on like how many fights you get into and stuff. But I mean, sure, there's still plenty of fights, and there's still plenty of stuff that's happening. But I think it is kind of having an effect on how people want to engage, because what people will do is instead of doing that 80-80 spam, they'll be playing correctly. They'll want to go and try and find a flank or try a different angle on that person, but then they get lost or people move around and then they're not there anymore, so then the fight doesn't end up happening. You see what I mean? So I think there's something that's happening with that, and it makes it a little weird. Like, for instance, somebody was exit camping. I actually juked the shit. I actually recorded this. I might put this up as a video. I juked the shit out of somebody that was exit camping behind the bus on Emercom exit on Lighthouse when I was on my scav the other day. There was literally 2 minutes left because I had just picked a bunch of stuff up. As I was coming down the ramp on Lighthouse, someone started shooting at me with some kind of 9mm, and they hadn't hit me yet, so I went all the way down the ramp. I went to the left, I went through the containers into the garage, and then all the way around, and I could see him creeping up on the bus, and he was holding an angle on the bus. He was like thinking I was gonna come out. I don't think he knew that you could go down there and around, and literally I'm walking by the wall, and I could see him on the bus waiting for me to like come out. And I'm just like, yeah, fuck this dude. And then I went over, and then when I was actually at the extract, I did I shot my gun. I was like like this little thing. I juked the shit out of that guy. But yeah, it's I don't know. There's been interesting stuff for sure. Do you think the SKS and the PP19 have more recoil, or is it just me? Every gun has more recoil. Every gun, they've changed the recoil pattern. That's another thing that I got wrong coming up into this patch. Nikita was explaining it a little weird, and I thought it was something to do with when the gun overheats, which there absolutely is. When the gun overheats, it deteriorates the gun, and then that turns into accuracy and recoil and stuff like that. And that's totally part of it. But just in general, guns have different recoil and actually more for some of them. And a couple of them I don't think are actually where they should be, because the 5.56 SCAR feels like it shoots like it should. The 5.56 SCAR shoots like it should be 7.62. I don't see 5.56 jumping the way that jumps with the SCAR, so we'll see. All right, lightning round, guys. We keep these to an hour. So anything that you're struggling with, anything that you want to know, and while you're coming up with those questions, at Nice Guy Tarkov in the chat. And while you're coming up with that, I'm going to take a sip of water, and then I'll explain everything again that's been happening the last couple days. All right. So again, we'll turn this down just a smidge. So again, the flea market, if you, basically the best way to explain this is if you have seen any popular WKey or Labs Enjoyer streamer over the past couple patches, whatever items they like to use the most is no longer on the flea market. And it doesn't matter what that item is or what it does, it's no longer on the flea market. Ammo, ammunition, backpack, guns, vests, helmets, everything. All of that stuff is no longer on the flea market. We have our list from the actual patch itself, which is huge. The patch notes are in the description. They're also in the description of all my most recent videos. It involves like a ton of different armor, a ton of different vests, a ton of ammo, a bunch of guns, labs key cards, the grenade launcher, like I said, ammunition, attachments, thermals, magazines, stuff like that. But in the last 48 hours, they also removed the Scar H, the 5.56 MDR, the 7.62 MDR, the Mutant, the G28, the RSAS, Gazelle K armor, SP6 ammo, the KS23, Pilgrims, Caymans, Maskas, Fast MTs, and the Altons. Everything I just said is no longer found on the flea market. You can't post it and you can't buy it. You can't have it. Actually, some might sneak through with the new ones for the barters. You were able to, for some of the items, able to do a barter and then ask for one of the items as a payment for that barter. But they ended up removing those. At least most of them. There could be still a couple left. But once they find them, if they are still there, they're going to remove them. So get ready for that if that's a thing. Yeah, and that is just a huge change to the economy. Massive. And we're still waiting to see. Apparently, Vibin is level 42 and has max level traders. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be looking around for max level traders if anybody has it. And then also in-game myself, I'm going to be getting to level 15. I'm like level 12 because we already talked about that. I just don't grind as hard as everyone else. I'm more of an information guy. And I spent the first 2 days offline learning Lighthouse and the rogues and stuff. So yeah, so I'm going to get to 15 today. I'll get the flea market with all this stuff that's going on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. I'll reset this song, and then when this actually ends, we'll cap it there. Why do rogues not shoot scavs on sight lore-wise? I think it has something to do with someone had a good theory that it was because the reason why they're rogues and why they're apart from USEC but still aligned somehow is because lore-wise, the USEC did like a bunch of like war crimes and like atrocities, and they like killed a bunch of civilians. So those might be the guys that didn't want to kill civilians, so they don't shoot on sight civilians, which the scavs are. So that's actually a really good point. I don't know who made that point. It's an amazing one. But yeah, that's a very good reasoning for why that would be a thing. Or it's a bug, and they're gonna change it at some point. We don't know. But that's lore-wise, that would be why that makes sense. Can you find someone to work for me so I have more time to play? Yeah, that's another thing with why it was weird to just drop on that Sunday. But hey, we got weekends. Weekend's gonna be coming up at the end of the day today. So we got a weekend, and then also the patch should be at its most stable going into next week and then into the holidays. So there's a lot of good reasoning for what they did, when they did what they did, and stuff like that. So it should be pretty stable, and then the time when you really can play a lot, the game should be there. So yeah. Does the range on shotguns using 7mm and 8.5 bucks seem like it's been lowered? I don't think so. I don't have anything specific on that, Joey. I'm sorry. What is your opinion about this wipe? I love Escape from Tarkov. That's why it's a weird thing to ask me. Like, what are you gonna? No, I fucking hate it. That's no. Like, I love it. Like, it's. I have absolutely no problem with inertia. I got used to it very quickly. I love VoIP. VoIP is awesome. I love the new stuff I love Lighthouse. Like, it's an awesome patch. I'm a person that can get burnt out on stuff even if I love it, so I have to be very careful about how much I play and how much I just spend in game and stuff like that. Another reason why I make the kind of content that I make. But generally speaking, I love this patch. If I didn't have over 5,000 hours in this patch, I'd be working my way there starting this patch. Sorry, if I didn't have over 5,000 hours in the game, obviously you can't have it in the patch. If I didn't have over 5,000 hours in the game, period, I'd be playing the shit out of this patch, and I'd be working my way towards that, starting this patch, because it's a very good one for doing that. And just learning the game in general. Will you date my mother, please? A lot of items have gone to quest unlock instead of just level unlock. That's another thing, too. That's why I'm asking for the traders, so we'll see. We'll see once we start getting those new tasks, the quest rewards and stuff like that. We'll see. Also with the dailies and the weeklies. We'll see what rewards we get with dailies and weeklies. So, yeah. Would BSG ever going to pull the new movement system back a tad bit? So, I'm sure there's potential for them to, but Clean actually specifically talked to Nikita, and Nikita seemed very strong-handed in that they are not going to change inertia in its current form. And that's because they've done significant testing with it. It was on the ETS servers, and it was tested significantly before it was even on the ETS servers, and they did iterate on it, and they changed it quite a bit while it was on the ETS servers. So it's been changed, it's been messed with, and BSG are confident that this is where they want it to be. So I really don't think they're going to change it. I really don't think they're going to do anything extra. But remember, they're definitely not going to remove it. And if you are one of the people that don't like it or would like for them to change it a little bit and, modify it just a little bit, look for that feedback and look to try and portray your idea or try and put forward your ideas and them maybe tuning it a little bit or changing something about it specifically with like how you turn or your weight or something like that, basically. But I'm okay with it, so I really wouldn't have specifics on what you would want to say. Have you noticed you slide if you look at your feet? Is that normal or is it just me? Yeah, it's probably a bug. It's probably something. There's always been something weird going on with the animations. Veritas talked about that a bit. Yeah, it's a bit funky. Hopefully they end up changing it. We'll see. Where did you get that lighthouse map? The one in the Discord. I just got offline, and there's gonna be people working on loot and stuff in the Discord as well. All right, last question. How attainable do you think Kappa Container is this wipe? I would say it's as obtainable as last wipe, to be honest with you. It's level 62. This is a bit of a different kind of a wipe, so this is actually a really long answer. I didn't think this was going to be this long of an answer. Yeah, man, honestly, I don't think it's changed too much since the other wipe. I guess it's on the person. I've had no problem, like, when I do play, I've had no problem getting tasks done. Like, I've had no problem progressing. I don't see... And actually, you know what? I've actually had a ton of the streamer items pop up. I already have a shit ton of those streamer items in my inventory, and I'm not planning on going for Kappa. So I do think it might be a bit easier because of how easily we're finding those Kappa items. So yeah. Did they apply inertia to AI scabs? I don't think they did. Well, maybe on parts, but it's applied differently because they need to be able to react differently to people in terms of difficulty and stuff. So they're on there at some points, but they just act differently. We'll see if they end up changing it with the way that this patch goes and stuff like that. We talked about that a whole bunch earlier, Sloan, and we're at the end of the stream here, so I also said I was going to do that last question anyway. So anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today. Thank you guys for coming by. Currently, the plan is to be up again tomorrow. 9 a.m. Eastern to 10 a.m. Eastern is when we do these Good Morning Tarkov streams. If I get level 15 today, I'm going to be starting on that flea market video, but I might make one beforehand anyway, just for all the stuff that they removed today. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching. Check out the Discord. We keep the Discord up to date very frequently. Also, if you're looking for people to play with, we do have that great LFG system for new players and just people that are looking for people in general. So go check that out. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.